Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're discussing a true Grail watch from a company that only makes Grail watches. It's the Bethune DB22TIS5 with a 6-day power reserve and a mighty 48mm grade 5 titanium case. You can see and you can purchase this exciting independent on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this techno giant, with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Bethune and our entire collection of haute de gamme timepieces. Now, the watch on my wrist represents a bit of a revelation for me. I've only reviewed a handful of Bethune timepieces, from the very first DB1 up to some of the kind of blue variants. Nevertheless, none has been as striking as this DB22. Part of the impact comes from the sheer size of it, 48mm across the round of the case, but in titanium, it's feather light. Make no mistake, though, it has impressive wrist stands. But if you had to choose between this and an Hublot King Power, would that really be a choice? 48mm, but quite slim at the same time. 11.3mm thick with a generously sloped case flank. You can see how it's not a classically sloped case profile, but it is stepped with a small polished lip to each facet of the bezel, such that it's fairly easy to wear this watch underneath a tight sleeve or cuff. Now, from lug to lug, it really shrinks itself. 52.6mm from lug to lug. Consider what is bigger than that. A conventional 44mm Panerai Luminor with the Betterini case is 53.5mm lug to lug. So if you can wear a Panerai Luminor 44, you can wear this. I would even go so far as to say that if you can wear something like a Supercase Rolex Submariner, or if you've worn the 42mm Rolex Explorer 2, you can easily accommodate this, and super light in titanium. Close your eyes, you think you're wearing a 40 or a 41. Beautifully executed too. You can see how you can pull the strap straight down, absolutely no constraint against the flanks of the case to curve around smaller wrists. The strap is meaty. Gloss black alligator leather with a monotone stitch and folded edges. It's broad, it's tapered, and it terminates in a simple but handsome Bethune pin buckle for on-the-fly adjustments. And this is a little bit of a sports watch by Bethune standards. 200 meters water resistant thanks to robust case construction and a screw-down crown. This is one that can get wet and wild, so you will want to swap out that leather strap for textile or rubber. Now, let's start with the front of the watch because there's just too much to share here. As you can see, it has the appearance of a machine from the outside. Like the modernist architects of the 1920s, 30s, and 40s who wanted to bring the machine for living from the inside out and express the structure of the house, of the office, of the public building externally, that's what Bethune does, hinting at the high-tech materials and avant-garde finish that lies within. You can see the facets, the curves, the polish, and the satin contrasting finish. Even the unique screws used communicate something progressive and almost otherworldly. It's like a UFO landed on your wrist. Now, as we turn it into the light, you can see the rich details of the dial. There is a sort of a microlight concentric circular cut to the dial. It's almost like guilloche, but it's performed differently and it's finer in its pattern. It creates a highly reactive surface, almost like a sunburst metallic, even though, again, we're talking about concentric circles, not a rayon grain. Now, you'll note there is a large and clearly calibrated 60-minute scale outboard of hands, which are a combination of steel and titanium, blued and skeletonized, broad and easy to read at a glance. There's also a power reserve that changes color at 12 o'clock. Now, I'll take the beautiful drilled and segmented crown, which I should say is a absolute pleasure to handle, a tactile pleasure. And watch me as I wind. You can see to good effect how the power reserve changes from red to black as I energize the 6 days of autonomy that this watch enjoys. This is a great watch to own if you do have a collection. If for whatever reason this watch were too outlandish for you to wear on an everyday basis, and frankly, I just say man up. Be strident, be defiant, wear your craziest watch without reservation. Now I've turned fully one half the power reserve black, the other half is red. It transitions to full black as you fully energize the caliber 2024. Now to be precise, it is the 2024.302. This watch has over 270 parts pivoting on 49 jewels, some of them exceptionally deployed. More on that in a moment. The distinctive rotor is a combination of blued titanium and platinum. The winding mass itself creating the ultimate polar moment in as small a space as possible using the combination of titanium and platinum. A very efficient winder. It also energizes, once again, if you're just tuning in, the 6-day power reserve. And you'll note that the bridge is one of the sturdiest structures I have ever seen in high horology. Not just a full balance bridge with a free-sprung balance for stability against shock. It features a unique triple parachute shock protection system, so both the wings of the bridge and the balance at center shock protected to isolate the balance to the greatest extent possible from even the most extreme shocks. You'll also note, if you can perhaps view the photography of this watch on our website, you can't quite see it unless you can freeze frame. There is a discontinuous balance wheel that is a combination of titanium and precious metal. The balance wheel is best described as a yoke, which is to say it doesn't have a continuous circular form. Rather, it is horizontally opposed masses in a yoke shape. Again, progressive in design and engineering. The finish is difficult to describe in that it's hand-finished to appear like the product of a machine. If that confuses, well, you owe it to yourself to try this watch and see it in person, because God is in the details here, and in this case we may be talking about one of the most exciting finishing concepts in the industry. If you're familiar with the likes of HYT, Romain Gaultier, uber progressive while respecting the sanctity of hand finishing, that's what you get here. And again, 200 meters water resistant. This is a watch you can wear full time and enjoy full time. See this dream watch, this Grelle watch, from one of the great independents of our era, Denis Flageolet, one of the geniuses of his trade. See it and own it on our website.